الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الدين عند الله الإسلام صدق الله العظيم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. Every one of us, according to best of our knowledge and wisdom, they try to become happy and successful. But as you are seeing, the majority of human beings, they are not actually achieving this, although they are using all sorts of whatever they think, do it yourself type thing, DIY approach. हर इंसान जो है काफिर है या मुसलमान, गुनाहगार है या नेक, वो दो चीज़ों हासिल करने की कोशिश कर रहा है. एक तो खुश रहना, खुशी हासिल करने में मैं खुश रहूं. दूसरा कामयाब होना, to become successful, become honorable, इज्जत मिल जाए, खुशी मिल जाए, कामयाबी मिल जाए. लेकिन हकीकत ये है कि आज भी पूरी दुनिया में अगर 8 अरब इंसान है तो उनमें से अक्सर इनको ये चीज़ नहीं मिल रही, वो फिर भी भाग दौड़ रहे हैं. So the reality is that people, Muslim, non-Muslim, they want to be happy, they want success, they want honor. And the strange matter is that they are trying their best according to whatever they can think of. And still, majority is deprived of it. And to do that, they even do something very, very funny, sometimes very strange things, sometimes very shameful things, sometimes very horrific things. The people who bring war upon people, countries, the world, after all, what they're trying to become is more successful and honorable and be happy. But what does it happen? They bring destruction to themselves and others. People like us who are in their quotes, actually, they want to do things their own way. They want to be happy, successful. They might say, oh, we have been stopped from having a relationship with women more than accept a wife. So they try their best. You can call any person who had relationship with 100 women and mention, are you satisfied and happy? Because you didn't follow divine guidance, so you did it in your own way. So let's see what you have. A person who have seen 1 million nude pictures or thousands pornographic movies, ask them, you've achieved success and happiness and honor? That's what you came for. That's what you were finding. A person who is trying to find things in games, sports, and all kinds of fighting, the things which we buy. Now and then we come up, a new research has come up. Buying material thing doesn't make you happy. So this means that we are still in searching and looking at the research of some odd person sitting maybe in a room cave or a university and are not looking at the Prophet ﷺ sitting in the cave of Hira, who did the search, but his search was not self-found and based upon people researching that I've come to this conclusion. No, no. Because human knowledge always keeps changing. His research was answered by the one who doesn't need to search anything. وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you were in search and we guided you. So Allah Azza wa Jal's knowledge is not like yesterday it was this research, oh, this research has come up, done on 7,000 people how to achieve happiness. Then a paper is published, then people make up their mind. And then they know there was some flaw in there. People are not still getting happy, successful. And most of the time they are missing very, very big gaps. So let's say a person is sitting in the room and he has idea how to be happy. He thinks this room should have this and that, and someone advises him, you should have a sofa like this, bed like this, you should have a computer like this air conditioner, etc., etc. But they are missing the other house. There's nothing in the kitchen. There's no bathroom. When they go outside, they'll get mugged. So no matter the person have taught you how to be in the comfort zone in the room, but he's not been very wise, that as soon as the person got out, he got killed. That's what's happened to many researchers, because their view is narrow, knowledge limited. So they might say, okay, you can be successful like this, like this. But when that person gets out in the other fields, it seems that everything has just gone. And especially when you leave the world, no one has an idea except Anbiya alayhimus salam and the people who got knowledge from them, that what's really going to happen. Sometimes there's a difference between a prophet and a messenger, for example, 6,000 years, 5,000 years, 4,000 years, and they've never been in contact physically. But they are saying the same thing. ये अजीब बात नहीं है कि 6,000 3,000 साल का वक्फा है, कोई मुलाकात भी नहीं ज़ाहिरी, लेकिन वो अंबिया जो आदम अलैहिस्सलाम बात कर रहे हैं वही रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम बात कर रहे हैं, जो मूसा अलैहिस्सलाम कर रहे हैं वही हज़रत इब्राहीम अलैहिस्सलाम कर रहे हैं. क्योंकि ये रिसर्च पे बेस नहीं होती इनकी बातें. ओ दिस टेक्नोलॉजी हैज़ कम आउट, दिस रिसर्च there is based upon a knowledge which is not going through evolution. Evolution कहते हैं बढ़ता रहे, research now and then. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knowledge does not increase, it's absolute, is everything. Or decrease in any way. He knows everything. So people are failing badly, and I'm saying that you said, okay, I'll try. Well, many have tried already, millions have tried and they failed actually. So you don't need to do that mistake. And the other thing is the history. This is fact that the most successful and honorable people, everyone believes they were the Anbiya alayhimus salam. That is a factual thing as well. And those who like us were finding here, there, they lost their everything almost. So today in this a brief discourse, because there are other programs of presentation after, they are going to show you how this annual gathering of people from around the world who will present to you how they actually are serving and sharing, trying to share this message. But I would like to just to give you an overview. What is that message which the Prophet ﷺ taught? And what is that message which Ahlul Bayt, Sahaba Ikram, Tabi'in, Taba Tabi'in, Awliya, Ummat, Ulama Rabbaneen, Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani, Rahimahullah, Imam al-Ghazali, and different scholars like Sayyidina Abdul Aziz al-Dabbagh, Imam al-Hassan Shazali, up to our last actually, that what they are. So just to give you an overview, Islam, which Allah Azza wa Jal chose this word, that it will leave you in peace and will be peace for others. It's a win-win situation. जिसको कहते हैं ना इंग्लिश में कि हर कोई जीतता है इस गेम में. It's not a game in which there is one loser, one winner. Islam tells you to play in such a way the game of this life that you are in win-win situation. In every situation you win. There's no, because in this world, death is supposed to be greatest setback. In Islam, if death, if it is for the higher purpose, to save humanity, to save yourself, or actually, जिसको शहादा कहते हैं, it is the greatest success. So there is a win-win situation in all situations, and it's a win-win situation for others. Unfortunately, we are competing with others, while this is a completely wrong view. Competing with this one, that one, my brother, my sister, cousins, relatives, other humanity. The only one you should be competing, if you want to become a better and successful, is yourself. Once you start competing with others, all negativity will come. That's where the jealousy comes in. That's from where this animosity comes in. That's where the destruction comes in. That's where the ghibat emanates, the allegations, all the evils of the tongue and body come from when you are competing with others. So who you should be competing against if you want to improve? Like the Prophet ﷺ said, if your today is same as yesterday, you are in loss. Meaning he is saying that to compete and compare yourself actually with yourself. Okay, what were you yesterday or the day before or a month, or how much you have done, and try to come higher level, higher. Then you always are increasing. As soon as you compete with others, either you will become demotivated, or I've lost, that person has won, or you become overjoyous and self-likeness and arrogant. This is the result going to be. So you are loser in both the situation. This is such a game. I said there is a game where you win in all situations, and there is a game you lose in all situations. Competition with others is a game in which you lose. If you, for example, let's say you win outwardly, arrogance comes in you. If you lose, you are a loser anyway. So try not to compare yourself actually as with others. Prophet ﷺ said that do not look up to those people who have worldly more things. Don't compare yourself. If you have to, look at those who do not have certain blessings which actually you have. As one of the wise said, if how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala divided how people are going through, if all problems are put in one big tank or big basket or a big room, a big hole, all that's okay. People, you are not happy with your own problems, okay, put them in a big room. And they said everyone will rush to get their own back. Because once they are exchanged, you will see you are in a better situation. So briefly to give you the overview, so in Islam, first part of Islam, there's 7, very easy, I'm trying to explain to you, so that overview you get that what people, these brothers who will be presenting to you are trying to do, what they, so that you are in the picture as well. First is to know about Islam. Knowing about Islam is the first category, that if you do not know, you cannot actually become successful in any way. So that is integral. Knowledge is important. But unfortunately, the knowledge does not benefit at all if you don't use it. That is the problem. It's like a weapon you have, you never used it. So even a small enemy, weak enemy can actually harm you. What is in that knowledge? Learning about Quran, learning about Hadith, about fiqh, about the seerah, about other things, and about worldly things. All knowledge you can fit in there. But it won't benefit you. There are many, many scholars who are scholars of Islam, but they are not Muslim. Today, in many universities, Islam is taught. A person can be a high caliber scholar of Hadith, of Ilm al-Kalam, but they are not even Muslim. They're teaching Islam, they're teaching tasawwuf, tazkiyah, whatever, but they are not even Muslim. So what I'm saying, they've not benefited actually at all, or nor actually they are. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about the people of the book of many at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, allazina atainahumul kitab ya'rifunahu kama ya'rifuna abna'ahum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, these people, there are many in the Ahlul Kitab, they know that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the messenger. How much do they know? How sure they are? Like they're sure about their own children, that they are their children. But did it benefit them? No, because actually they only knew. So today if you speak to anyone, sometimes people say, oh, I know. Well, knowing does not benefit. I read that book, I know my rights, I know this, I know about Islam. Shaitan probably knows more about Islam, at least than us, or normal people. But how is it benefiting? तो बहुत सारे लोग तो इसी धोखे में पड़े हुए हैं अभी. उनको कहो ना अमल करो, आओ कोई दावत दीन दें, दीन के लिए मेहनत तब्दीली लेके आओ. वो कहते हैं हमें पता है, हमें ना बताओ. तो पते से तो बंदा कोई कामयाब नहीं होता. If you want to go to London and you know how to get to London, by just that knowing you don't actually benefit. अगर flood यहाँ आ रहा है तो you will be drowned in that flood. You can't say, oh, I knew how to get out of the flood, how to avoid. This is not. So this, I will just actually draw a big line upon all this, a big misconception. I know this. It is part of Islam, but that doesn't benefit you. So yes, Islamic studies should be there, everything should be there. But if it is stopped there, then there is no benefit at all. That is ilm ghayru nafi', a knowledge which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, oh Allah, save me from that knowledge which is not beneficial. So knowing about Islam, details, etc., etc. The part which you start benefiting from Islam is when you believe in Islam. That is the first part where you start benefiting. A person can be a big scholar of Islam, but he doesn't believe in Islam. Eman nahi hai uske paas. Ilm hai. तो वो इल्म फ़ायदा नहीं दे रहा. लेकिन जब वो compared to him, a Bedouin or a person living in a rural area who doesn't know anything, but he believes he is in more good position. So the time when he says, I believe in Islam, meaning he brings faith on the articles of faith, that's when actually the person is benefiting. Because I believe in Allah, the prophets, the angels, the day of judgment, life after death, predestination, the divine books, the realities of akhirah, and his heart is satisfied, तब उसको फायदा होना शुरू होता है. तो ये जो लोग कहते हैं हमें पता है, शैतान ने भी I know. When Allah Azza wa Jal said to him, do something, he said, I know what's right, what's wrong, who is good, who is not good, who is higher, who is lower. What happened then? So all this diagram which you have seen through the presentation, all of you, mashallah, many times, this teaches you about beliefs of Islam. Although it's mentioned as a whole story, but it's talking about beliefs really. Firstly, it gives you a world view, not only, but a view of the entire life actually. That it believes in Allah, you believe in Allah, that there was Allah and there was nothing. And then Allah created other world, the angels, the Lawh-e Mahfuz, the divine throne, the kursi, the arsh, and all these things actually. And also the world of spirits, we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us in the world of spirits. And you've heard that many times now, that we did a promise, covenant. That's the scheme of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and plan for this. Here we are in the arena of test. Anbiya alayhim Islam, books come, and we are asked to believe in the barzakh and the day of judgment, and on the hell and on paradise and forever and ever. So this is the belief system. That's what we are trying to. The major problem of sometimes people is they don't know direction of their life, why they are here. As they say, there are four most important questions. Why you are here, and what is the purpose of what is your assignment. As Ustad Usman was saying, one is knowing general purpose, whether you've been created for worship. One is specific, how to actually what abilities you have in yourself, which you can earn. So this gives you an overview actually. So this is the belief system. So that's why this is shared with first thing, because that's from where people start benefiting. यहाँ से लोगों को फायदा होना शुरू होता है जब वो इस पर ईमान ले आते हैं कि अल्लाह है, फरिश्ते हैं, आखिरत है, जन्नत है, दोज़ख है, बरज़ख है, ये सारी चीज़ें. So this is two parts covered now. But still, you don't benefit fully at all because you've just believed in Islam. The third part of Islam, which you really start benefiting practically, is when you start practicing Islam. And what is practicing? We are making things difficult. I mentioned knowledge of Islam, believing what you know. But now the third, but practicing Islam is simply what is Prophet Islam, when he was asked, Ayyul Islami Afdal, what is the best Islam? I am doing a commentary on the prophetic thing. It's as though it's being said, you harm no one and give peace to everyone. He said, this is the best Islam. Man salim al-muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadi. Simple. Two-step formula. Stopping the harm and beginning to benefit. That is the practical Islam. Whole of then Islam orbits around this. So we showed you, I'm not going to go in detail because many of you have seen that, and I'm just giving an overview so that the full picture. So that's why we start from here. This is not a silsila or a spiritual order. Oh yeah, I am in that tariqah, I am in that silsila. This is basically practicing Islam. Tariqah, silsila, that is different matter. If you want to follow, good and well. But that's more higher, sophisticated level. This is where your success and where that's where a person can be very pious, you know, I'm on such and such silsila, I'm spiritually very high, but he might be harming people with his tongue. He might be harming people with his earning, the way he earns. He might be harming his spouse, his neighbors. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when he was asked, or in one riwayah is Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he was asked about a woman, spiritual woman, who was very worshipful. Spiritually, she was as though on, spiritually I am very high. Tariqa, silsila, koi bhi, people have different words they use, but the same thing. They're very close to God. I'm always fasting, I'm always... But they said she is very... I said, well, how is her tongue? They said, well, that's the only thing. The neighbors are not very happy. The tongue she uses is harsh. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas said, Hiya finnar. You are saying she is spiritual and worshipful. I am saying she is in hell. And they knew this matter very, like 2 + 2 = 4. They didn't go in details, oh no, there might be something, this and that. No. They knew that if she was spiritual, the spiritual person should be more sensitive to other people's feelings and things, because he is at the spiritual level. He is not sensitive. She is not sensitive on physical level even. How can a person be spiritual? Jisko, for example, the scale which weighs gold is sensitive to ounces. So a person says, I have a very good scale. It is such that it will measure your weight not in kilograms, in ounces, and even below than that. It's very sensitive. I have a special kind of scale. कि आपको ये 60 किलो नहीं बताएगा. There will be 15 figures after as well. How many pounds, ounces, and milliounces, and all these things actually. And then you put on it 500 kilo and it's not moving. What type of scale that is? What type of sensitivity that has? So spiritual hona to matlab ye hai कि this person is affected with very, very spiritual issues, very subtle things, like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave example. I quote this story quite often. That when a person came that I have lost my child, then he was told, you have your child, your son is playing in the playground, in the garden in Medina. Very shortly I'm mentioning. This person hurries to go and get to see his son. The Prophet ﷺ calls him and said that when you go into the garden where children are playing, don't call him, address him by saying, oh my son. Call him by his name. He mentioned, Ya Rasulullah, what is the wisdom in there? He is my son. Prophet ﷺ said, the reason is, this is the meaning of the hadith, the commentary. The reason is that when these children are playing, in those children there might be orphans playing as well. Children who are orphaned from father, though they don't have mother. When you will say, oh my son, this can trigger the memories, or actually their feelings can be that if my father, my mother was there, I would have called like this, or I will never called my son. So he said the orphan, the many children will be hurt for them. So when you call him by his name, then actually. Prophet ﷺ said, when you bring good food, like in ancient times, fruit you are bringing, where other neighbors can't buy this. In modern days, if you are bringing a 5-star meal, pizzas, big pizzas, and other things from restaurant is ordered things. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that either share it with the children and the neighborhood, in your neighborhood who see it, or bring it in a hidden way. Bring them in a hidden way so that no one notices. that you brought. Not actually that you have this, you're showing everyone. And we are doing the opposite. When we bring something special, कोई गाड़ी ले आया है, कोई computer ले आया है, कोई, he might call, oh, I am doing a party, opening हो रही है मेरी, गाड़ी मेरे घर की. You build your own house, but your destruction, you destroy the hearts of many people who can't actually get that house, who can't actually buy that car. What is that type of opening? What is that kind of ceremony? So Prophet ﷺ said, आप अलैहिस्सलाम ने फरमाया कि जो खाना लेके आओ अच्छा, फ्रूट वगैरह चीज़ें, या तो जिसने देखा है उनको भी दो रास्ते में, नहीं तो छुपा के लेके आओ. He said that if the aroma, the fragrance or the aroma of your food reaches someone, now it is a right of his that you should give him something. Otherwise don't harm him. Control your aroma. और हम ऐलान सब करते हैं, हमारे ये कर रहे हैं, वो कर रहे हैं, we announce, I am going to have this car, I have this suit, I have this. We do announce to get people together. We are not sharing it with them. So rather we are hurting them or their feelings. They have feelings as well. So to be spiritual is to take care of these delicacies, these sensitivity. ये है रूहानियत का मतलब. And that person who uses his tongue harshly, he is very, very further away from spirit. He is further away from physicality, let's say spirituality. So that is one of the reasons Rasulullah ﷺ lived a humble life. Outwardly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if you want, we can change the mountains of Makkah to gold. And then he was offered that you can be a king messenger like the Prophet Solomon alayhi salam or Prophet Dawood alayhi salam, that they were king and a prophet in one, king and messenger in one. Rasulullah was given all these options. It's not that he was hungry, he suffered because he didn't have anything. It is his faqr was ikhtiyari. He chose. Why? Simple reason that he thought, my many ummatis will be upset. They won't have this. When they will look that their prophet have this, their prophet have this, and living in luxury and palaces, the one who is living in the small, they will actually say, we don't have that, we can't follow Islam because we don't have that kind of luxury, etc., etc. So now, Rasulullah's hujra, you know how small it is. Al-Mu'min, where Sayyida Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha, where the green dome is, even in that there are 4 houses. 4 houses. When the part of Sayyida Aisha and then actually Sayyida Fatima Zahra and things. So that everyone, every ummati who has a house, small house even, already. Rather, one scholar said, the Prophet ﷺ didn't have a house of his own. That was what he bought and he prepared for his wife. That was this is Hujarai Aisha. It's never said it is Hujarai Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is Hujarai Hafsa because he gave them as a gift. He said, and he didn't own one room in his entire life. Taaki those who don't have house, they can relate to Rasulullah. Okay, we don't have a house. Our Prophet didn't have that. He lived without actually any property. तो आप देख लें वो सारे वो उम्महातुल मोमिनीन के थे, अपना तो हुजूर अलैहि सलाम ने लिया ही नहीं सारी जिंदगी, एक कमरा भी नहीं. And this is the person for where Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabbagh rahimahullah ta'ala, he said that if Allah had not stopped paradise by his command, the paradise was dying to come down to be with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because paradise is created from the light of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasallam. So like a child, baby wants to come to a mother, that's how actually it was restless in the love and that I want to go and serve Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he said, Sayyidina Abdul Aziz said that wherever the Prophet Islam would stay night, the paradise will also be there night. And where he spent day, it will be with him in a form suitable for that level. But he said it's the command of Allah. Allah has stopped so that the people are given ample time and also to be tested. Because the ghaib does not become actually apparent. Because that is a test. So the Prophet ﷺ himself chose this way. So I was talking about, don't forget the point which I'm trying to make. The spirituality is to be even at sensitive at spiritual level. So many people have beard, they have hijabs, women have hijab, they have topis, they have all religious outfit. That's physical. They should represent spirituality. But Prophet ﷺ mentioned, someone asked him, a Sahabi, Ya Rasulullah, when will I know I am a good person? When I pray 5 times fully, when I am doing dhikr, when I am reading Quran? Prophet ﷺ said, when your neighbor says you are a good person. It's easy to do other things. So this is practicing Islam. Remember the word I'm using, practicing Islam. Don't say it is, no, we went to Bold and they taught us tariqah and silsila. Okay, tariqah in Arabic means methodology, method you can use. But it is practicing Islam, because he said, Islam, Muslim, definition, man salim al-muslimuna min lisani. He started the definition of Muslim, from whose tongue others are saved. So that's why it is started. So tongue, saving people from all this negative usage of tongue, ears, eyes, hands, feet, etc. This is practicing Islam. Then saving people from the harms of your mind, because there are different kinds of intellect. There is a Muhammadan intellect, Muhammadi zihn. There is a shaitanic intellect. There is a nafsanic intellect. There is humanistic brain who have human thoughts. Okay, there won't be. अकल की भी कई किस्में हैं. एक आसमानी अकल है, एक रूहानी अकल है, एक मोहम्मदी अकल है, एक शैतानी अकल है, एक जो है जिसे मैंने अर्ज की कि हिर्स और हवस वाली अकल है. So wherever the intellect, if it comes under your nafs, it becomes a nafsanic, egoistic aqal. If it comes under shaitan, it becomes a shaitanic intellect. If it comes under spirituality, it becomes a spiritual aqal. If it comes under Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it becomes Muhammadan mind. And then it comes under Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it becomes actually malakuti, qudsi. Qudsi mind. So you should think कि मेरी अकल कौन सी है. मैं शैतानी अकल लेके फिर रहा हूँ, फिर तो रहा हूँ, जिंदगी तो गुजार रहा हूँ, ऊपर शैतान का झंडा लगाया हुआ है या नफ्स का लगाया हुआ है. Brain everyone has, but which type of brain? कोई meaning brains तो ये जितने शयातीन हैं इनके में भी है, जिन्नात है, zombies हैं, ये सारे brain ही लेके फिर रहे हैं. But which type of brain you have? This is practicing Islam, that you a brain which does not harm anyone. ये इस्लामी अकल है, ये मुस्लिम की अकल है. This is the Muslim mind, actually, meaning peaceful, he doesn't harm anyone. But if you've gone to a higher level, फिर आगे रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम का ज़हन जिस तरह उसकी इत्तबा में आ जाए तो your brain, your intellect. तो इसके बारे में सोचें कि मैं फिर तो रहा हूँ, कौन सा दिमाग लेके फिर रहा हूँ. Which actually हैवानी, animalistic mind, लूटो, मारो, धाड़ो. This is animalistic. हैवानी अकल, इंसानी अकल, शैतानी अकल, नफसानी अकल, रूहानी, and all this qudsi. So much so that in one hadith, the Qudsi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, मेरा बंदा जब मेरे करीब हो जाता है, when my servant become closer, I become the heart or the mind with which he thinks. बस वो है कुदसी अकल. The hands with which he is, वो है वो the Islam. So ये second part we teach because we have this in Islam practicing. This is practicing Islam to make your mind and the brain becomes actually this. So this is a person, you've heard about that as well. I am just touching up and giving you an overview because they are going to present how they are doing, then other things as well, so that you know what the message is being delivered. Third is purification, saving the heart from harming anyone, entertaining, nourishing good qualities. इसका भी वही तरीका है, वही शैतानी दिल भी है, नफसानी दिल भी है, हैवानी दिल भी है, और रहमानी कुदसी दिल भी है, और मुहम्मदी दिल भी है. What type of heart? You should think, what type of heart do I have? मेरा किस जानवरों वाला, I have animalistic heart, or humanistic heart, or Islamic heart, or Muhammadan heart, or a spiritual heart, or a heart which has benefited directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's divine actually qualities reflected in there. That's what Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jalani rahimahullah says. So isme, so purifying the heart so that it doesn't harm anyone. Fourth one is soul. And you already know about the nafs. It has also 7 or more or less type. Nafs amara bhi hai, shaitani nafs bhi hai. That is shaitani type nafs. Then there is the good ones as well. Nafs mulhima, radiya, actually. So there are types of nafs, the 7 types of heart, the 7 types of brain, and 7 types of body as well. ये body भी 7 types की होती है. किसी की जानवरों वाली काम करने वाली है, किसी की जो इंसानों वाले काम करने वाली है. जिसे हम कहते हैं इंसान बन जाओ, इंसानों जैसे काम करो. So what we are saying is that act like human being, your body should be like. And then it is the Muhammadan body embodiment. Which one is that? Which is reflecting the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The character, that is a Muhammadan body. So each body, mind, heart, soul have 7 types. And practicing Islam meaning to enter the Muslim phase first and then gradually actually. यही purification में कराया जाता है. And this is the master map as you're about to practice Islam. Master map. Here you are from the state of sinfulness, fulfilling the conditions, your journey, believing. That is, all this is knowing Islam. You see, the condition, beliefs, knowledge, striving, repent, tawbah, ये सारे इसके बारे में ilm, which we mentioned, knowing Islam. But if you stop there, here this doesn't benefit. But soon as you believe, then practicing Islam, which we discussed, body, mind, heart, and soul. Remember, this is practicing Islam, and then reaching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure, the aim and objective anyway. Third is, so 2 things you have learned: knowing Islam, believing Islam, and practicing Islam. 3 things. Fourth one is experiencing Islam and Eman. Tasting Eman. Eman you have brought. What is Eman? On Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the prophets, the Siddiqeen, Shuhada, they actually angels, or jitne bhi ghaib ki cheezein hain, or the statuses hain, the throne, the arish, the kursi, the barzakh, the alam arwa, alam malakut, alam lahut, alam hahut, alam yahut. They all actually things which we even have not heard of their names. We believe in Akhirah, but how can you experience Iman? That's what you are doing now in this retreat. You are experiencing, Imam, you've been told, you are being told. Okay, what you believe in Akhirah, Muraqabah, ascension, you believe in the world hereafter, the life hereafter, your eyes of the heart are open, and then you experience Him. What you used to believe in, you are yourself seeing. Like after Fajr, many people were giving feedback. Yesterday you get, this is experiencing Iman. You are experiencing. आपको तजर्बा हो रहा है, जिसको आप मानते थे उसको आप देख रहे हैं. Anbiya alayhim salam, like one brother said, he was with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some said they were below the arsh. So seeing the arsh, it's experiencing Iman. Yesterday, in this morning, you heard yourself. ये कोई ऐसा तो नहीं है that I'm talking, from books or anything. You yourself are telling. I've never told anyone I've even seen anything. मैंने तो कभी बताया ही नहीं, ना ही कोई अपना. It's your people who are telling. So in this, the Muraqabah ascension is the part of the experiencing Iman. So all these, the spiritual journey. The Muraqabah Muhammadiyah, to come closer to Rasulullah in such a way that you can spiritually see him, be with him, communicate with him. That is experiencing Iman, because the Prophet ﷺ is Iman in flesh and blood himself. When you interact with him, you are interacting with Iman. Muraqabah dua, you experience a close, deep relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You experience that actually feeling. So Muraqabah barzakh, the world, the alam-e masat, where all the people who passed away, they live. So if you go on a grave and you can see what's happening, you are experiencing the actually Iman, because you believed in life after death, azab of qabr. And here you will be taught, I think, after tomorrow. Today you'll be taught the spiritual salah where you can pray and you can go also on your journey, Miraj. Then inshallah after that, one day you will be taught you will go on a graveyard and the azab you can witness yourself. So that's experiencing Iman. Similarly, so there's a method, spiritual salah, which will be taught today. The objectives of all this experiencing Iman are four. The purpose, very easy. Attaining the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that you are with Allah Jalla Maiduhu all the time, He is remembering. Number two, attaining spiritual presence is as though you are living with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam all your life. You've not been born after 14th century, you are living with him. Third, witnessing the unseen, experiencing what you already believe in the unseen. The unseen world is not unseen for you now, it is seen. And fourthly, the last one, compassion upon creation, so that because of that, this ability, this capability should come in you. So that, and the ultimate aim is the pleasure of Allah. So that's the fourth part, experiencing Iman, which you are doing. So that's why this in the prophetic methodology, Tariqa Muhammadi prophetic methodology called Tariqa Muhammadi prophetic methodology. That's how he brought people together. First he gave knowledge, then they started practicing and believing, then they start practicing, etc., and then experiencing. Then the next stage is living Islam in the state of ihsan, living Islam. You believe in Islam, you know about Islam, you practice Islam, but are you living Islam? Living Islam, what does that mean? State of ihsan. It means your whole life you live as though in the presence of Allah. Presence of Allah, it would mean that if you were given a stage and say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is seeing you, you should act. How will you act? That is living in the presence of Allah. Imagine you are alone on a stage and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is seeing, He's all seeing. And you are given a task, how will you live that life? This dunya, this earth is a big stage. You are the actor. You are the actor. The Prophet ﷺ is the director. He, director, says, do like this, do. He gives the script. He gives you the moves. This is sunnah. This is the movement. वो एक्टर कामयाब होगा कि डायरेक्टर कुछ कह, डायरेक्टर कह रहा है रो, वो हंस रहा है. Director is saying fight, he is running away. He says laugh, he is actually crying. He is saying whatever. The director कुछ कह रहा है, वो कितनी hit movie होगी वो. If this type, well, that's how we are going to see our own movies on Day of Judgment. ये movie record कर रहे हैं. The Kiraman Katibin, they are recording the movie. Remember, this world is a stage. ये एक studio है. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it is a set stage. ये set stage है. It is set. It's not. It's a planned. Everything is planned. You are the actor. Prophet Islam is the director. Allah Azza wa Jal is the producer. He is the creator of everything. Prophet Islam directs, do this, act. And he's shown you how to actually act in all situations. And you are given a script. हम वो उसका script, director का script छोड़ के, let's say an actor goes to act and director says, okay, you should read this. It's a loving scene of love you should show. And he becomes angry for some reason and he starts swearing. What will be that scene? How will it fit in the movie? Or will it destroy all the movie? Well, that's what we are doing. We are been given the script and shown that's how we should act. Copy ही कर ले और हम उल्ट पुल्ट करके अपने सारी फिल्म खराब कर रहे हैं. Those people who are interested in movies and acting, भाई आप खुद actor हैं. And you in a realistic movie, if you think really, you are forgetting that दूसरों की नकली बकली मूवियाँ देख रहे हैं और अपनी असली मूवी खराब कर रहे हैं. Looking at others' movies and destroying and corrupting your own movie. That's not a wise decision. So living in the state of Islam, whilst you are in the presence of Ihsan, is living in the presence of Allah and excellent conduct with the creation of Allah. ये देखिए मसलन family है, excellent conduct. Ihsan इसको कहते हैं. Relatives हैं, friends हैं, wealth है, animals, creation, everything, all creation, the excellent conduct, and with Allah Azza wa Jal, excellent conduct, with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, excellent conduct. That is the fifth part of Islam, living in the state of Ihsan and Islam. Environment even, you are caring for everything. Then the last two things is sharing Islam. This is the sixth one. Sharing Islam, meaning that you have attained all this goodness. Now you should share that message of Islam with others. Why keep humanity away from it? We have a command to do that. That's what the presentation you are going to see. Each department, what they're doing in the background and what ease they have, what difficulties they have, etc., etc. Sharing Islam with who? Sharing Islam, firstly, obviously, with yourself, your family, friends, town, city, country, continent, whole world is your ultimate aim. Sharing is just sharing, meaning goodness you have. You let other people taste. You see, if you make a good dish, even non-Muslims, some non-Muslims came for dinner here to be with us in the iftar time. They say, we like that food, for example. You prepare a good dish, even everyone will like it. People are English here, but they say, we like this food, we like, for example, Indian food, we like, for example, Italian food. If the food is good, they're not bothered. They don't say, no, we only want English. Okay, because good. Similarly, for sharing, if you corrupt and make actually not a good, tasty curry or samosas, or फिर लोगों को बुला लें. The people have come over, we are going to have Indian, Muslim food, right? And then it's so horrible, you can't eat yourself. And will they come here back here? They'll hate. They say, we don't want anything. That's what we are doing. Islam was like a flower, like a rose. You could share. Everyone loves the rose. But this rose is rotten rose, which we have. Black ho gaya hai, badboo aa rahi hai usme se. And we are saying, oh, brother, here is it, here is a rose. Actually, I want to share with you. तो कौन उस रोज को पसंद करेगा, कौन उस डिश को पसंद करेगा जो खराब हो गई, उल्ली लगी हुई है, उसको खा के उल्टी क्या आती है, तो कौन पसंद? That's what how we are sharing people from us non-Muslim are seeing same kind of bad acts and dishonesty, fraud and bad behavior, disorganized. They don't want to then accept anything like this. To share Islam, you need to be yourself on that part as well there. So then people will. The next one, the last one is implementing Islam. That means where you have authority, you just actually apply it. So the same as well. If you have family, if you're a friend, if you're a counselor, if you're an MP, if you are a prime minister, if you are a king, whoever you are, if you are not, then don't go into that jurisdiction. That's where terrorism originates from. What they are doing, where they don't have authority, they are trying to implement their ideas there. Islam says that wherever you have authority, you should, and then there is no fitna, there is no corruption, because that you have authority. You have authority over your body. If you want to implement Islam there, no one actually should be bothered with you, you can do. You have your family, you want to bring up as a Muslim family, good and well. If you are a counselor, you want to help people, you want to be good with everyone, peaceful with everyone, good and well. At your own capacity, that's what you should do. That's what did Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam did when he went to Egypt. Pharaohs were ruling. He implemented Islam where he ever. Firstly, it was his own body. He protected his honor, the honor of the king or the minister, and he protected the other things. And when he was made a minister of finance, he used his authority to save people from the famine. And look what happened. They said that, well, you have everything and you rule. And when his fellows, his brothers came there and their descendants, Bani Israel, they lost this real Islam, the Pharaohs made slave out of them again. Then for 300 years, they were slaves again until Musa alayhi salam came and liberated again. So this is a story in front of us. That a slave who is sold as a slave, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam become the king, and then kings become slaves of Pharaoh. You know, the picture is very, very clear. So pillar of application. So this is now the summary of it. We mentioned this is about practicing Islam and believing in Islam. This is tasting Eman and living Islam and ihsan, and then pillar of sharing Islam, pillar of application. So in a summarized way, so first one, knowing Islam. Second one, believing in Islam, practicing Islam, experiencing Eman, living Islam, and sharing Islam, and implementing Islam. This is the message of Islam. This is what we try to do here actually, and the brothers, how this that we should start. Like you have come, you have started from yourself. Firstly, you were taught about beliefs and practice that we should be like this, there shouldn't be any blockages. Then you are now at the stage of, for example, experiencing, and also have started practicing. So you can begin on all of them at a small level and then gradually increase. It's not that you complete once and then only you can go accept actually the belief part. You have to believe in totality, and then practicing can become regular, gradually. Like even in the beginning, for many years, alcohol was not made haram, although Islamic practice had started. Because Allah subhanahu so gradually. That's why you are also given sheets of the tongue, ears, eyes. So know for sure, this is no spiritual order, this is no such organization or anything. Simply Islam, its beauty, its core, its beliefs, its practice, its living, its sharing and implementing. And that was the way of the Sahaba Ikram, Tabi'in and Awliya Allah, they actually. Now we have made sects out of it and all these different things, and really these things we have lost and we are focusing on. That's why we are not getting the results. Why you get experience, you are able to experience Iman, because these pure teaching coming from Rasulullah sallallahu to Sayyidina Ali, to Sayyidina Imam Hussein, Hassan, and through until Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Tabaq, somehow they are still pure, meaning. And so if you find a formula and you act upon it and then you get the result, know that that is actually a pure formula. And we are following, you're making a formula, it's not coming up with the result, then know that there's something wrong in there. So if you can experience Iman to the muraqabat, know that you are on the truth and it's worthwhile then sharing with others, because you've attained something. You are not selling what you are not using yourself. You should buy this phone, you should buy this, and you yourself are using another one. So it's not like you use that and you share that, and then you can with confidence share it. So inshallah I will finish here, and the brothers will inshallah, this more important. I have mentioned to you theory, they are going to mention to you practically how they are doing the departments and how they, what is their achievement, what their struggle is. It's a kind of recognition for their hard work, because behind all this, which we are, maybe 10 people are preparing food and they're doing it all voluntarily. People are preparing presentation, they are doing it voluntarily. So all these people. So you can also, there's no bay'ah, there's no membership, because you don't need membership of Islam, do you? When Rasulullah said, read kalima, you have read, you are member of the ummah. That's all you need to be. Rest is the doing part and actually sharing part. Yes, if someone wants actually and for formality, that is a different matter. But really, it's not a condition to serve. Jazakumullah khairan. If there's any one or two questions regarding what I have said, you can ask. Otherwise, then after 5-minute break, this other session will start. Now, do not ask any question unrelated to this. Now, you should be sure about this and explaining Islam. Like last time, yesterday, someone was saying, how can he explain Islamic teachings to non-Muslim? Simple, like the Prophet Islam did. That Islam teaches we shouldn't be harming anyone from our tongue, ears, eyes, hands, feet, from our mind, from our heart, from ourself, and we should be benefiting everyone. This is Islamic teaching. What is believing in Islam? To believe in all the prophets who came and what realities they spoke about God and the hereafter. Simple. Rest is different. That's the practice. हम क्या कहते, कैसे इस्लाम समझाते हैं? लोग, हमारा तरीका क्या लोगों को समझाने का? कोई गैर मुस्लिम आ जाए, brother, tell me about Islam. Okay, Islam is 5 pillars, and one pillar is actually you have to believe on actually Allah and the Prophet Islam. Okay, second, 5 times you have to pray, you have to come mosque and pray, and the other thing is you have to give some part of your wealth away as well, and you have to make this journey to Saudi Arabia for 1 month. And वो कहता मैं तो रहा, मैं तो how are you bringing people closer to Islam or pushing away? तो ये वो 5 pillars of Islam है. It is not Islam. देखें ना हम क्या कर रहे हैं, कितनी गलती कर रहे हैं. वो pillars of Islam. He is asking to know about Islam. You are telling him pillars of Islam. कोई बंदा कहता मुझे गाड़ी दिखाओ, आप उसको टायर दिखा रहे हैं निकाल कर बड़े बड़े. He won't be impressed. I want this car. This will take me to A and B. वो कहेगा ये टायर कैसे लेके जाएंगे मुझे, तो परेशान हो जाएगा. Person who is asking I want a plane, you are showing him wings only or whatever. With pillars. If someone says, show me Medina Masjid, you are showing him pillars. Ye hai, ye hai, ye hai. Where is it? So Islam, yes, there are pillars of Islam, but not Islam as such. So that's why Prophet Islam said that Islam is based upon these 5 arkan. Ye arkan means pillar. Islam is what Prophet Islam said. Man salim al muslimun min lisani wa yadi. Yani stopping, to stop harming. Every non-Muslim can understand as well. Then you say, that brother, what is Islam? From my tongue, ears, eyes, no harm, no one should be caused any difficulty or inconvenience. Everyone should benefit, and I should create ease for everyone and myself. Everyone can, yes, I want to be this person. So ये चीज़ है. ठीक है, जज़ाकल्लाह जी.
Thank you. My thanks, and also same time say that the book you handed in earlier when we came to Itikaf, if you had not explained this in this manner, I would not have understood it. And so this presentation is an explanation of that book which you share, and Allah bless you and give you more knowledge.
Right, mashallah. Jazakallah, ameen. Yes, the book talks about actually this part mainly, experiencing Iman, and also this part actually as you have. So, inshallah, को break देनी है 5 minutes. ठीक दे दें तो फिर इंशाल्लाह फिर शुरू कर लें. जज़ाकल्लाह खैर. जज़ा सुब्हानकल्लाह व बिहम्दिका नशहदु अन ला इलाहा इल्ला अंता नस्तगफिरुक.
Inshallah, we'll have a break for 5 minutes. So if brothers just want to have a quick stretch.